I hear so much apologetics for female nature, and it's mostly online. It's mostly from people who argue theory and things like that. Now, I admit in the past, I have been somewhat of an idealist. Um, and being an idealist that wants love, you tend to latch on to the old, um, you know, blue-pilled narrative of what love is, which is, this whole, she loves me for me, there's no strings attached, she loved me whether I was rich or poor, which indeed is the old wedding vows, right? In sickness and in health, and whether he's rich or poor, right? These are the old wedding vows, although they changed them. But even then, it's pretty nonsensical, because in the 1950s, for instance, men were expected to bring home the bacon even more than they are today. Actually, today it might be a little more lenient as far as the pressure put on men to be men, because of feminism, because women can do stuff now, right? Of course, it was easier back then for a man to just, you know what, I'm just going to go work at the factory, and he could bring home a living wage, 2 cars in a garage, 3-4 bedroom house, nuclear family, boom, bam, done. Didn't need college, didn't need any special training. I don't even know if you can do that now. I really don't know if it's even possible for a man to just walk in off the street out of nowhere, say, hey, I want this factory job, and goes out and gets a 2-3 bedroom house. I really don't know. Maybe it's possible you can be a truck driver or whatever. I mean, these jobs, I'm sure, aren't impossible to get. Steady work, don't need a degree, don't need training. They'll train you on the job, right? But they're not, I doubt, as plentiful as they were in the 1950s. So any Joe off the street could go in and walk in and get that kind of job back then. Today, I'm not sure if it's that easy. I really don't know, because I've never strived to work that kind of job. That's never been my MO. But this is that's the blue pill narrative, true love. But like I said before, you still needed to bring home the bacon in that circumstance. And there was even more pressure back then. Even more pressure back, say 50 years ago, when America was quote-unquote great the first time, right? So there was more pressure during that time for a man to be a man. But we still hold on to that narrative. And yes, there needs to be a wake-up call for every guy. So my thing is this. My thing is, I question that whole thing, if it ever was real, if there ever is really such a thing as true love. Because quote-unquote true love is always contingent upon the man making money. If the man doesn't make money, there's no love. And people would argue and say, oh, well, then how are you guys going to survive, and this, that, and the third? Well, love finds a way, doesn't it? If it doesn't, then is it really true love? Now, you can definitely love somebody. And I was watching a Joe Rogan podcast the other day. I forget the guy's name, but he was saying it's pretty easy to love somebody. And it's easy to love somebody that you're with. That's not a hard thing to do. It's not hard to see somebody for 3 months, 6 months, 10 months, and then eventually develop love feelings for that person, because you're with them so much. I love you. You're my best friend. I love you, right? I love you, buddy, right? I think love is more plentiful than people realize. So I don't think it's hard. I mean, people who are in 6-month relationships tell each other they love each other. I don't think that that's hard. I don't think it's hard to love somebody. And I don't necessarily think it's that hard to find love. And I don't necessarily think it's that hard to fall in love. What's hard is finding loyalty within love. What's hard is finding somebody who will love you through your worst circumstances. What's hard is finding somebody who will love you at your worst, when you're at your worst behavior. That's hard to do. So I think that because of that, women are weaker than men. Because I think men have the ability to love somebody through a hard time. And I don't know if women do. Now, there's always going to be people coming out of the woodwork and say, oh yeah, I loved my man when he was on narcotics. I loved him when he went to jail. I stuck with him and da-da-da-da. That's a rare case. You know, it's a rare case. But there's always going to be rare cases. It's just rare. It's not common. What is common is a woman saying, oh, this guy's got a good job. He's got a good career. He's a safe bet. He's a quality man in that he's consistent and he's domesticated and he's he's paying bills and he's I can rely on this guy. That's what women really want. They want security. They want to be able to rely on a man. But the question is, what if you can't rely on a man? What if he loses his job? And I've talked to many men who, in this order, lost their women. They lost their job. From there, the wife and kids left them. From there, they lost their house. Or one of those steps subsequently, right? So you lose your money, you lose your house, and then the wife leaves you. Why is she not loyal? Because she's weak. She doesn't have real love. She doesn't have that kind of love for you. Her love is conditional. Her love is transient insofar as money is conditional and transient. If the money's there, she loves you. If the money's gone, she can no longer have that security. She can no longer have that trust. And I hear so many apologists, so many female nature apologists. Well, this is how women are, and you should be a man and just accept it for what it is. And, you know, women are smarter than us because they pick the higher quality man and all this dumb bullshit. And it's just like, you people just don't know what real love is. You people don't know. You people are shallow in your souls. You have shallow souls. You know, if you love somebody, that person is special. And that person cannot be replaced if you really love somebody. You know, it's easy to say, oh, okay, well, it's easy to go out and just choose and pick. I like this guy, but he drives a crappy car. I like him, but, I don't like the kind of job he works. It's so easy to do that. It's hard to say, you know what? I'm going to seek the right person. And it bugs me to no end. Men who fall into that, play into that, and then claim that their woman really loves them and claim that, oh, she's special, and she ain't special. She's only special insofar as your paycheck is there. Your paycheck's gone, she ain't special no more because she ain't sticking around. Lose your money, lose your wife. Lose your money, lose your woman. That's it. That's a fact. Women are weak. And so anytime any feminist comes out of the woodwork and says women can do everything a man can do, okay, go to work, support a man. Oh, that's a tough one, isn't it? You don't want to do that. Why? Because it goes against your very nature. So anytime anybody comes at you with some equality bullshit, tell them that. Women don't want to go work for no man, but flip the script, and they're just fine being a housewife. They're just fine staying at home while the husband goes and works. And men are just fine with it too. Think about it. It ain't the same thing. Female nature is weaker than male nature. And I argue that male nature is enabling. Male nature enables female nature. Male nature enables hypergamy. It plays into hypergamy. And then you'll have men who argue that you should play into hypergamy. These so-called red pill men, such as Richard Cooper and Donovan Sharp and Rollo Tomasi. These guys who, although I like a lot of their content, their ultimate argument plays into hypergamy. Get a better job. Get a higher quality life so you can attract a higher quality woman. Bullshit. You're going to attract a more hypergamous woman. You might have a higher quality life on your end, but what is she? What does she bring to the table? You might get a better looking pussy. You might get a better looking face. You might get better looking tits, but that's it. What does she bring to the table? Used up pussy, what does she bring to the table? All her baggage goods, what does she bring to the table? Oh, she's better looking than the other girls? Great. Congratulations. You leveled up to a better looking woman who's still hypergamous, who's still using you for your money, who's still using you for your resources, who's still using you for your quote unquote higher quality life. She's still using you, man. Guys act like this is some kind of accomplishment. Like it's some kind of, I earned this. Like she's some kind of commodity. Like she's some kind of product that you bought. And women want to fall into that. They want to be a product. They want the man to lead, quote unquote. They want the man to be their ruler. And they simultaneously want worship. That's how sick the world is at this point. She wants a man to worship her, and she also wants him to take care of her. She wants worship, but she also wants to be coddled. She wants worship, but she also wants everything to be paid for. She wants worship, but she also wants that man as the backbone to raise her kids. She wants worship, but she also wants him to be the steady, docile, domesticated man that she can depend on. She wants security and dependability. But she also wants worship. She wants that validation from all the guys who want to fuck her, and then she wants to settle down with whether he's a beta or whatever the hell he is. She wants the dependability, the consistency, and the domesticated man. She wants to go sleep with all the alpha chads, and then she wants to settle down with the predictable man who's going to love her despite all her baggage. This is why these women are weak, because there's nothing that's loving about that. There's nothing about that that's love. That is an arranged circumstance. That is a situationship. And you can love somebody within 6 months, easy. You can fall in love within 3 months, easy. But the question is, how long does your love stick around? Does your love stick through the thick and thin? He loses his job. He loses that dependability. He loses his income. He loses his house. Are you going to stay there? Are you going to stick with him? Because that's real love. So you could say you love somebody, and you could say you found, quote unquote, the one. That's nice.